The impacts of global warming are alarming, with the rise in pollution, greenhouse gas emissions, and fuel costs. As per International Energy Agency estimates, globally the transportation sector is responsible for 24% of the direct CO2 emissions from fuel combustion. With this wake-up call, the world tussles to eliminate fossil fuels and implement alternate power sources for engines. And that's where the fully electric vehicles and the hydrogen fuel cell vehicles come into the picture. When we say electric vehicles, the first thing that pops in our mind is the electrifying Tesla car. On the other hand, the hydrogen fuel cell vehicles haven't gained this kind of popularity yet. So let's shed some light on the hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. First, brushing over the basics of what is a fuel cell. By definition, fuel cell is simply a device that uses a source of fuel, such as hydrogen, and an oxidant to create electricity from an electrochemical process. So a hydrogen fuel cell car has a hydrogen tank which feeds the fuel cell with high pressured hydrogen gas that mixes with oxygen and produces electricity. This powers the electric motor, thus propelling the vehicle. And the only waste emission here is the water vapor from the tailpipe. Thus, these hydrogen-powered cars are locally free from any greenhouse gas emissions as it filters and purifies the air during the drive. Moving on to the electric vehicles, which have been already around since the late 18th century. And it's now gaining back its popularity, but this time with an advanced technology. The present-day electric cars are powered by built-in rechargeable batteries, typically lithium-ion, that are charged using external power sources. This electricity stored in a battery pack is used to power an electric motor which in turn propels the vehicle. According to experts, the decision to buy an electric or hydrogen-powered car has 4 criteria to consider: the price, the range, its performance, and convenience of refueling or recharging. So which is a more desirable candidate in this Go Green contest? The battery electric cars or the hydrogen fuel cell cars? To understand this better, let's weigh the pros and cons. In terms of range, current hydrogen fuel cell cars are slightly better than battery electric cars, as they densely pack the energy storage, enabling them to cover long distances. So hydrogen-powered cars with a full hydrogen tank will last around 480 kilometers, while the battery-powered cars, depending on the model, can travel 100 to 300 kilometers on a single full charge. Of course, we have some exceptions like the Tesla Roadster. The time to refuel a hydrogen car can take a couple of minutes, while a battery-powered electric car, depending on the rated capacity and type of charger, takes 30 minutes for a rapid charge and 10 to 20 hours for a normal charge. Even though hydrogen is most abundant element in our universe, according to studies, the end-to-end production of hydrogen is its major downside with significant energy losses. Generally, hydrogen is produced by natural gas reforming and water electrolysis. Such approaches require the use of electricity either directly or indirectly, which in turn needs fossil fuel combustion. But this again defeats the whole purpose of going green. However, electrolysis when done via a renewable energy source can provide a clean and renewable source of energy. And researchers are constantly working and developing technologies to make it cost-effective too. Another feasible source of hydrogen, which is surplus in India, is biomass. With abundant livestock dung, agricultural residual, sewage sludge, and forest residual, which are all sources from which hydrogen can be obtained. While in case of fully electric cars, the components of the battery like lithium-ion and other rare earth metals produce a lot of greenhouse gas emissions during its extraction process. Additionally, the end-of-life battery disposal, if not done correctly, will have major environmental impacts. These issues too could be resolved with better battery recycling techniques and decarbonization of electricity grid. The cost to produce, store and transport the hydrogen is comparatively higher, especially because its production volumes are less. Hence, in the current scenario, the hydrogen fuel cell cars are more expensive than the regular battery electric cars. Today, India has emerged as the sixth largest vehicle manufacturer globally. The growth is also accompanied with challenges of fast depletion of traditional energy sources, rising energy costs, increase in oil import, and the impact of mobility on the environment. In order to tackle these challenges, the Government of India is working towards developing a mobility option which is shared, connected, and electric. Under Phase 1 of Faster Adoption and Manufacturing of Electrical Vehicles scheme called FAME, the government has supported the establishment of 500 charging stations for electrical vehicles in the country. Also recently, under FAME India scheme Phase 2, the Department of Heavy Industries has sanctioned 2,636 charging stations in 62 cities across 24 states including some union territories. In 2018, ISRO had indigenously developed lithium-ion battery technology and commercialized it by transferring the technology to 10 selected companies. So in the current scenario, if you consider the price point, the availability of charging infrastructure and energy efficiency, battery electric cars win over hydrogen-powered cars. But hydrogen is definitely the future of sustainable transport. However, there are barriers like its cost, end-to-end production, storage and transportation which need solutions both environmentally and economically. Indian Oil, being the largest producers of hydrogen in the country, have recently undertaken a 300 crore rupees project focused on production of hydrogen via sustainable technology routes. As per MNRE, 2 hydrogen refueling stations have been established, one each at Indian Oil R&D Centre, Faridabad and National Institute of Solar Energy, Gurugram. Until then, there would be a lack of infrastructure to support hydrogen-powered consumer cars on a large scale. Debates are being waged by supporters of each technology if hydrogen fuel cell is better or the battery electric cars. Well, that will depend on which one is going to gain more traction over the time, both economically and environmentally. So let us know your opinion in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.